Welcome to week 9, everyone. Loved the responses last week to Steve Boomer-Prediger's book For the Beauty of the Earth, the first half of it. Especially appreciated some of those videos that came in since we got to see your faces and hear your voices, but just good responses overall. This week we're going to finish that book, and that will involve what I think some of us might be a little bit hungry for, which is a somewhat more kind of systematic treatment of Scripture to develop a theological ethics of creation care, specifically, hopefully, caring for our own places and hoping to promote a life of care from our home places. I want to encourage you in your responses this week to use any medium that is inviting for you or helpful for you. That can be a written response. You can do an audio recording, or of course, video recording is fabulous. And I think especially Nancy and Lauren and Michael now appreciate our video recordings because they are in their homes and not able to cross paths with us the way the rest of us are in Pasadena. So there's a lot for me to commend, I think, about the second half of Steve's book. I'll leave it to you to highlight from it what you're finding to be the most generative, the most helpful in your own thinking, especially as you're pulling your thoughts together for your final papers. And again, I want to encourage you to highlight whatever you will from the reading with a view to articulating the direction that you're going to be going in your final paper. And this is for a number of reasons. One of them is to just begin to pull together your learning so that it is oriented towards your paper. But it's also to give me and others a chance to interact with you about where your ideas are at for your paper. And just so you know, this is going to be our last week of any formal assignment for the class. Starting next week, week 10, I'm just going to give you the opportunity to upload any questions or concerns that you have about the final paper. By then you'll have the prompt as well, although we've already discussed it quite a bit. And the idea there, it'll be optional. You won't be required to do that, but of course I'll encourage you to post something of your thoughts on your paper so that as you're actually writing it, you have the chance to get some input from me and perhaps from others as well. So I'll be monitoring the forum in week 10 to be able to respond as quickly as I can to any posts that give your thoughts or questions about your paper. But with that in mind, I want us to continue to be kind of bending our engagement with the reading towards that final project, because I think that will be the most helpful for you. So, similar assignment this week. I'll just ask you for a 300 or so word response to the reading you'll see in the discussion forum, or it could be a 2 to 3 minute video. And again, I think that you'll find in these final chapters that deal extensively with the witness of Scripture. They also deal with sort of how our character is involved in our ability to care for our places, so that it's not just a a kind of mechanical knowing or an improvement of our ideas. It's the transformation of the character of our life that is involved in our ability to know and to care for our places. We had some discussion about that in the forum this past week that I think was good. So I think you're going to find the second half of this book to be pretty generative for you. I did upload a podcast to last week's work, and that remains an optional resource for you. In there, I speak directly to the theme of rest or Sabbath as it's introduced to us in the account of Genesis 1:1 to 2:3, and then developed in the life of the covenant people of God, and the way that the rest or Sabbath of God is revealed in the wilderness, and how we experience that, and then how I think that presses upon us in our life in the city. I reflected a little bit as well on why the wilderness imposes the kinds of difficulties and pain that it does on us, as a way hopefully of continuing to help in our digestion of our experience there together, what it's done to us and what it is continuing to do to us. So that's a resource for you in case you want to listen to that, and I will upload something like that again towards the end of this week, once you had a chance to finish the second half of For the Beauty of the Earth, and invite you to draw from that resource, the podcast, in case that is just a stimulus and a guide for you as you engage the reading and also are putting together your thoughts for your final paper. So thanks for your hard work, for taking the material of the class to heart and taking it seriously, and I look forward to hearing what it's doing for you, what you're learning from it, concerns that it leaves you with, questions that it raises, and how we can sort of put our lives together, our minds together, to try to make sense of what we're going to do with it. So have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you in the forum.